You fat bastard. Days I got up way too early though. I laid on the couch. I hit snooze every minute for an hour on the
You gotta
couch.
set it for 5 minutes, you know.
How
I
do you
do it.
how do you
It
do
was
that?
it was so frustrating. I literally finally woke up after almost an hour of just hitting snooze out of pure frustration because I'm like, God damn it, I can't fall back asleep because this stupid alarm keeps going off. And then I just got up and walked my 3 miles this morning and did a little bit of workout and got my mind primed because today is Cooler Heads Podcast Day. So I'm like,
Yeah, I
I
thought
gotta
we were
go
on like
in.
a permanent hiatus.
No, I just every single time we have got shit going on.
Yeah,
Adam, I know you're staying up late working on whatever stuff you're working on.
I'm just here hanging out.
I got authorization that I can do trainings now, so I'm putting some stuff together.
Neato.
Yeah.
So like your own branded
Yes.
trainings.
Yes. So I'm working on that
Interesting.
stuff late, and then just Houston has just been an ongoing. Like, there's not one week I don't go there where I'm ending up putting in 60 or 70 or
See,
more
listen,
hours.
I know you're a workhorse, and I'll say this, and I'll die by this hill.
Uh-huh.
Like, don't forget to lift your head up out of the books, out of the dirt, and take a breather for yourself. Take a break for your own mental health, your physical health, because I mean, you can work yourself to death. You'd be dead by 50.
But
I
the
know.
thing is, there's a different side to that coin too, because like I fall into it sometimes too, where it's like you're working, and then like, you know what? I deserve a break. I'm gonna take this amount of time off, and then before you know it, like you're not getting anything done. It's like,
Yeah,
it's hard to get remotivated again. So it's almost easier to stay kind of involved with it.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, definitely stay involved with it, but you can only run full speed for so long before you die of a heart attack.
True.
You
Which
know, you slow down a little bit. There might be a hill.
I
Take a
might
walk.
I might be dying about with something. I don't know. I had some crazy stuff going on actually twice in the last 2 weeks.
What's that? We're gonna check my blood pressure live while I'm doing this.
I get like
I just checked mine yesterday, so I want to see what your number is.
Oh, it's gonna be horrible.
I'm sure it will be. Look at your hair. That doesn't happen naturally.
Go ahead, Adam. What were
I
you
get like weird like last night. I actually had to start. So I'm working on a book revision for ESCO, and I had to stop yesterday because I couldn't see the computer screen anymore. I have like this. It's only happened a couple times. You know when you like stand up and you've been like laying down for a long period of time,
You get
stand up,
lightheaded.
you get lightheaded, and you might see a little fireworks or whatever in your vision.
I
So
thought it
I'm
was flashbacks from LSD.
yeah.
That's not looking good, guys. Go ahead.
So yesterday, I'm staring at the computer, and it starts like light, not that bad. Like I'll see just a little bit, but in both eyes, and it progressively gets worse and worse. And it got to the point where like I couldn't see the words on the screen anymore. So I'm like, well, looks like I'm not doing this anymore.
I don't even want to share this. I think there's something wrong with this.
The vision problems. And again, I don't know if you guys didn't know this, but I'm not a doctor. Turns out, yeah, that's not real great.
What does that mean?
That's high.
It's supposed to be 120 over 80.
Yeah. That's
Why do
high.
you just randomly have a blood pressure?
Because I have fucking hypertension, man.
Yeah, no wonder. You work 75 hours a week, and then you're like,
Not
what else
every
can
week.
I do?
Not every week.
I've just never met anybody that has like a blood pressure machine in their office.
Hannibal Lecter did.
Did you put that thing around your wiener?
Yeah, that's a good
Oh my
point.
god, what would happen?
Happiness.
Oh, let's not.
Yeah, I had my blood pressure yesterday was 111 over 69. I was nice and calm.
Yeah.
I had my blood panel done. Cholesterol came back because I had very, very high cholesterol last year at the same exact time. And I've been eating mostly vegetarian since, and I got my cholesterol down like 50 points. So I'm back in the normal range, which is good. But Adam, like what you were talking about, there was a person that I kind of know that recently was having like vision problems, and they've been putting it off and putting it off. and they what was it? They had some other sort of symptom one day, and they decided to go ER because it was like they were still having vision problems, but also they were some other symptom of like lack of energy or shaky legs or something. And they went to the doctor, and it turns out they have diabetes type 2, I think it is, the one that's not permanent. I guess it can be somewhat
Managed.
reversed,
Yeah.
managed. Yeah. But that was one of the symptoms that the doctor was like, yeah, vision problems. It's like one of the main symptoms of early onset diabetes, I guess.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Might want to check into that before it's progressively worse.
I'll drink water.
There you go. That'll solve all the problems.
No, my blood pressure is like I literally just woke up probably about a half an hour ago. So that, yeah, it's that high all the time. And to my defense, I haven't been taking my blood pressure meds because I forget. I need to get on a schedule where I remember things that I'm supposed to do. Like
You
even
need to
even
prioritize. That's the word I'm looking for. Prioritize your health. That's what you got to do, man.
I need accountability.
Yeah.
That's my problem because I get so worked up into what I'm doing. Like other things. Oh, piece of candy, and I get distracted, and then I forgot to take that this morning.
I imagine you're one of those guys that you just wake up out of a dead sleep, sweating, and then you just wake up, sit straight up, and you're yelling. Ah!
No. But so I meant to ask you while you were talking, what type of person are you? Can you wake up, and then if you wake up, can you go right back to sleep, or are you just you're up and you can't your brain's just whatever, and where you can't go back to sleep? What type of person are you?
I can go back to sleep. Usually, I would say 85% of the time I could go back to sleep.
I hate you.
I choose not to.
I hate you.
I wish I wasn't that type of person because I have a lot of stuff I want to get done as well. But I let my body. I fight my body on it. Like every day, I get up at 4:00 in the morning, and my main goal is when I go downstairs to walk down to my home gym in my basement, which is literally just an exercise bike and some dumbbells. But it sounds much cooler when you call it a home gym. Like I got the Rock Mansion or something. But my goal is to walk past the couch. If I stop at the couch and I sit down, stretch, put my socks on, I'm out. I'll fall asleep.
Adam, how about you?
I'd say like it really depends, and I think like I know this is a stupid answer, but it depends on like where I am in my sleep cycle. You know what I mean too? Like on a weekday, I'll get up and I'll be up just because I have work and that. But like there's times on a weekend where I'll be like, I'm gonna lay here for a little bit, then I fall back asleep. But dude, I've been having crazy dreams lately. Like I don't know what it is. Last night I had a dream. I used to be in a band when I was younger, and I had a dream that the band I was in, all the members were there, and we were about to play a show, and there's tons of people everywhere. And a band was playing, a band was playing before us, and then we were getting ready after they played, and then basically everyone left, and we were taking our time setting everything up, but I wasn't setting up my musical stuff. I was setting up a weird cube-like shape blower door.
You guys tune your guitars. I'm gonna pressure test this building real quick.
When I walked in, I felt the air was when I opened up behind me. I felt a negative pressure, so I'm gonna work.
The door didn't open up very good. You guys feel that?
I think that's why everyone left.
And then you're over there like with your guest, like, well, let's see, this ductwork is undersized. We should probably, before we start the show, let's talk to the owner about maybe downsizing his equipment here. Maybe we can electrify everything in here.
No, that's why, like, if it's a day that I can try to actually sleep in, I don't like sleeping in my own bed because my wife is inherently that person that can wake up and then go right back to sleep or just listen to the alarm for 20 minutes. And I'm just like, I'm up now and I just want to throw something. So then that way I just alleviate that frustration by not sleeping in the bed. Because I can't go back to bed. Most of the time I can't go back to bed. I've actually, if I like listening to stuff before I try to go back to sleep. So like the past 3 days, I've been listening to the movie Oppenheimer because there's nothing really to see except for the explosion, right? So I've just been listening to that because there's a lot of dialogue that you have to kind of digest. So it doesn't make me want to look at anything. So I listen to something like that if I'm trying to go to bed.
You know, you are what you eat, and your mind is a direct reflection of what you feed it. So, like, just listening to the audio for the movie Oppenheimer, which I've never seen before, but that seems crazy to me. I've never just listened to the audio of a movie. Are you talking like you got it playing in the background, or like you're actively like, I'm gonna put these headphones on and I'm gonna listen to the movie?
Yeah.
But why?
I mean, 'cause if I try to watch it, then I'm looking at everything that's happening. You know what I mean? So like I have certain movies that I can listen to that I don't have to pay attention to because I've seen them a million times. V for Vendetta, Big Lebowski. Like I don't have to see what goes on. Like I know what goes on, so I don't have to listen. I don't have to watch it. So if my eyes aren't engaged, then I'm less likely to want to go back to sleep. If that makes any sense whatsoever.
I mean, I'm trying to make it make sense in my mind. I can't relate.
Kind of like listening to music, right?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big music listening type of guy. I have it on in the background sometimes, so it's like basically a background noise.
Yeah.
But like when I'm watching a movie, I get real bored real fast. Like within 5 minutes, I have to just like go on my phone just to check stuff. Like I have to change my attention for a little bit, and then I go back to the movie. Like even if it's a good movie, if it's a movie I plan on watching, I just check my phone, whether it's an addiction to my phone or whatever. I need to change my attention just for a moment, and then I go back to the movie, change it again, back to the movie. But
Gotcha.
it's real dumb. But you ever try meditating? You should look into meditation a little bit just to calm yourself down because you're so high strung and hypertensive. Like it might do you some good just to be able to create this tool within yourself where you can just take a moment and just calm yourself down. And I know it sounds, tutti frutti or whatever, but
No,
it would really help you.
It doesn't. Like I've done meditation in the past. It's just my life has always been so fast paced where like I'm just always have to do this and then I have to do this and then I have to do this. So I don't ever have that time to just chill. Right.
You need to make that time.
I know. You sound like no, I don't have one. No, I don't know. We were going to talk about stressors. How's your holiday week? Are you guys setting up the tree? You guys got everything set up yet?
Oh, you know what? I forgot about that. We're going to do that. That's what we do every year is we set up the tree after Turkey Day.
Yeah. I got to pull this shit down from the attic today.
Yeah, usually my wife does it, but she's working today. So maybe I'll do it after we go grocery shopping and all that stuff. But no, Turkey Day was great. I got to get up north, saw my family. It was a good visit.
Canada North? Or?
No, up in north of Michigan, the thumb of Michigan, rather.
Because you live real close. I don't know.
Oh, to Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not Canadian. I know how to use real words in miles per hour and things. But it was good. No fist fights, no political arguments, no nothing crazy. It was a good time.
How about your Turkey Day, Adam?
We didn't do anything. It was like a kind of a dysfunctional Thanksgiving type deal, Our house is kind of chaotic right now. We're working on some stuff, so it's a mess.
Wait, who's we?
Well, me and the people that I hire to help me.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because your family's probably like not really on board with it. They're like just
no, they don't care and whatever. It's stupid. Yeah, so we had the idea to go with a couple people from Lauren's family and go to like a restaurant for Thanksgiving, and then they ended up getting sick in that, so that didn't happen. And then early on in the day, myself and my wife were talking. We're like, well, we could either go or maybe we'll just order food from the restaurant for takeout, and then we'll watch a family movie. Well, she ends up falling asleep, taking a nap. And then like she's sleeping, and the kids start coming around. What are we gonna have for dinner? What's for Thanksgiving dinner? I'm like, I don't know. And she wakes up and she's like, so I'm gonna make egg sandwiches. You want one? I'm like, no, what happened to our plan? And she's like, so you still want the food? I'm like,
it's Thanksgiving.
I'm like, well, I could eat cereal. I don't know. So we ended up ordering it. Everyone ate in like 2 seconds, and that was the end of it. And it was
I feel like that's how a villain story origination
It was
story starts.
pretty much that's like a bad. It was a depressing Thanksgiving type of story, you know.
Oh man, I'm sad. That makes me sad in my heart.
Yeah.
No, we still do Thanksgiving every year. We just because I know I'm going to end up cooking because I don't like my wife's cooking at all. So like we usually get the pre-cooked turkey and then we just have to shove it in the oven for 4 hours, 3 hours, at low heat just to just to heat it up and then I'll make some of the sides. But yeah, this year I don't know. I always just play with the recipe a little bit. Like this year I loaded the turkey up with gravy and stuffing. And
Delicious.
so yeah, it actually came out really good. But I won't do the raw turkey anymore just because that's a whole day ordeal. And I'm just sitting there in front of everything, just cooking. It's just, I don't know.
I will say, like, almost every year, except a handful of years, we'll stay at my house. Like, me and my wife will cook, and we're not real good cooks. We can heat stuff up. I don't really call that cooking.
Mm.
But, like, here we went up to my parents, like I said, and my dad had smoked a brisket. They had marinated this turkey, and then they did something where they called spatchcock it, whatever they like spread it out in the smoker after it's a way to cut the bird called spatchcocking. I don't know. I know it sounds
You're making
weird.
that word up.
No,
It lays the whole thing flat. You're like,
yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
was
freaking
so delicious. Like the food was so great. I'm like, I want to eat here forever. And it got me thinking, like, what are we? I was talking to my siblings about this. Like, what are we gonna do? Like when our mom and dad are too old to like do this to put this on every year, because they're getting up there in age. They're not that old, but eventually there's gonna come a time where like during these family events, like we may have to do this, and we might have to take over the reins of this. And my brother, he actually made a cheesecake, and he's 10 years younger than me. He's a millennial or whatever, the Gen Z, whatever they call him.
Mm.
Cool guy, but he was making this cheesecake, and he doesn't have a mixer, and he doesn't have like a whisk or anything. So he took his DeWalt drill and he put a spoon in it, and he used that for his mixer. And so that's how he like made the cheesecake. I'm like, well, I mean, it's inventive, yeah. But again, I'm like, we can't cook this way if we're going to be putting on this family event. Like we can't do this ourselves. We need to learn how to cook, you guys.
Well, they say that like if once the grandparents are passed on or whatever, like the family kind of falls apart. Where like because the grandparents basically the ones that are holding everything together as far as making sure everyone's talking to everyone.
Like when you were a kid, is that where you saw like a majority of like your cousins, your aunts and uncles was like Christmas, like let's all go over to grandma's house after we do the family thing, and then you guys see each other that way? Was that a thing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I would say 100%. Like we would always have family parties, and that's exactly where I saw my extended family. And then once my grandpa died, it's like you see him a little bit less and less, and then right now it's like maybe every so often we'll come into contact at like a funeral or something else.
Yeah, I was saying this the last time I saw a majority of them was at my grandpa's funeral.
Funerals and weddings, right?
Yeah,
that's sad.
No, the only reason why I said is because like we used to go when we lived in Pennsylvania, when we lived in Connecticut, we would go to my wife's grandfather's house, and every year for Christmas, every year for whatever, and ever since I moved to Texas, that doesn't happen. But like growing up, we didn't really in my house we didn't have that because everything was so wrong,
chaotic.
Yeah, just wrong. We didn't really talk to anyone. People were mad at everyone. Really weird family dynamic. Like my mom and her sister never talked because they shared a husband at one point, not at the same time. So that caused some animosity.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a U-turn in the family tree, I guess.
No, not really.
Well, you know what they say.
Keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family. Family share,
Yeah, that would add some stresses to the holiday where one Christmas you're like, hey, what's up, Uncle Dale? And then like the next Christmas you're like, hey, what's up, Uncle Father Dale? I mean, stepdad Dale? Like how would that
Yeah, yeah,
There's some,
it gets kind of weird.
there's some
So
redneck math that we got to do on that one.
we could do the redneck family tree one day.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, I mean, we got Christmas coming up and then New Year's. New Year's to me, um, I never do anything for it. Not anymore. Ever since I quit drinking, it's become a dead holiday to me where I'm just like, meh. I mean, maybe I'll watch the ball drop or watch the clock change over, but I don't honestly care. It literally me has no effect in my life other than I have to buy a new calendar at some point in time. But so that leaves Christmas. So Christmas is the other day that can be extremely stressful. I know for myself, um, it's not so much visiting people. The biggest stress for me on Christmas is actually receiving presents for me.
Why?
Because I don't know if you know this, but I am very monotone. I tend to not express emotion very well, lack emotion, even some people have said. So I feel bad all the time when I'm opening presents from everybody else because they usually put a lot of thought in these presents and they're like, this is going to be great. He's going to love it. And like every year I open it, I'm like, awesome. That's
A
very
sweater,
cool. Thanks.
awesome.
And even it could be something great, something I really wanted, like, legit, like this is the coolest thing I wanted. But it's like my reactions, I feel, um, they don't necessarily justify the
Present
effort that they put into it. And I always feel bad. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. I don't know how to react to this. Like I appreciate it. I love it. I wish you could tell. I wish there was some other way for me to convey this, because my face muscles don't work right, or I don't know how to be excited.
I just bought this. I'm gonna get you one comparable, like maybe basically my emotion meter, but this is my social battery. So what I
Where
can
do
do
you
is
get that from? That is awesome.
so I can have it on green in the beginning of the day when I'm just enough talking to people. I can just slide it.
Mhm,
So if you see it, just don't, I'm red. Don't fucking don't talk to me. But I'm gonna get
mhm.
you one as far as excitement meter. So then that way, instead of you expressing it in a vocal sense, you could be like, see, look, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Like I'll open the present and be like, wait a minute.
Yep. Oh, books.
Look at that.
It went down.
That is a great idea, Brett. But
I
yeah,
mean,
that's my
is it
biggest stress.
isn't it kind of weird though? Like, I don't know. The older you get, I remember when you were a kid and you were like looking forward to gifts. It's like I really don't want anything,
Hmm.
and it's like you kind of wish people would just save their money and not spend it on.
I totally agree with that too. Like I would be okay. Like my parents really, really want to give presents, so I'm like, just if you really have to give a present, just give me one thing. Like we don't need to go all out. I'm not 11, like I have a majority of what I want. There's a few things I want, but just save your money. Like put it towards retirement, put it towards something else. Like make sure you get a couple things for the kids. Like even the kids, I'm like, don't buy them tons and tons of stuff, because in 2 months we'll be donating it because they don't use all that stuff. And when they put it on their Christmas list, it's like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this. It turns out they really don't want it that much.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom takes this to the extreme, and like she'll ask me like for my birthday, "What do you want for your birthday? What do you?" And I won't answer her forever, And then she's like, Your brother tells me stuff that he wants. Why won't you tell me?" I'm like, "I need socks. My socks have holes in them." So then, like all of a sudden, for like a week, I get packages of all these different kind of freaking gourmet looking like fancy designer socks. You know what I mean? Show
Hmm.
up. I was like, I don't want freaking. I just want cheap socks. That's all I want.
See,
Amazon gift cards. Just give me Amazon gift cards and I'll because like I usually buy stuff that I want throughout the year, right? So if there's something that I
Mhm.
want, something that I need, I go and fucking buy it. I don't have to wait for one certain holiday to get something because by then I've already moved on and now I want something else. So like I get what I want and then just give me my staples. Give me some candy so I can get fatter, and then give me some underwear that doesn't have holes in it, and I'll
Yeah,
be
give
straight.
me some underwear that stretch because I'm getting fatter from all the candy that I got.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I went to go. I went to go down to Houston, and when I was trying on some of my old thermal underwear, I went to go put them on. Oh no! It was getting ready for a camping trip with my kid, and I was like, "Yeah, I need to make sure I have thermal underwear because it's gonna be cold. We're gonna be camping outside, and it's been getting down to 30 degrees here in Texas." And so I go to try them on, and all of a sudden, I go to lift them over my knees, and I'm like, "What happened?" The elastic was dry rotted. So it's tough. It's like,
How old are they? I've never heard of elastic dry rotting.
that's what I was trying to figure out. So I've been here in Texas for 8 years. I was in Connecticut for about 5. So they could be about 13 years old. Maybe older.
Wow. Interesting. So you had to run out and buy new
I did.
thermal under.
But that shows like I don't throw shit out. You know what I mean? And I'm around about the same size. I just, my waist has stayed the same size. Just my belly just overhangs my waist now. That's it.
Kind of segueing on that idea of like having, like not throwing shit out, right? I'm the same way. Like I throw socks out when they get holes in them, underwear when they get holes in them, that sort of thing. Like that's normal to me. But what I do is I have a stockpile of clothes. Like I think me and you have talked about this before, Brett. Like if I find a pair of pants that I like, I will usually often buy extra pairs, and I will just keep them in the package brand new, and I'll put them in storage totes. And I do the same with socks. Like I just found these new ridge cut, like tactical socks or whatever they are, like fantastic socks. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to buy 10 pairs and put them in storage. Because sometimes this happened only one time. So I don't know why I let it affect me too much. I used to wear Arizona jeans, and then they quit making the specific brand, the specific model of Arizona jeans that I wanted. And ever since then, I'm like, I don't know how I'm ever going to live with myself again. And so whenever I find some clothes that I like or fit good, I buy extra. And so I put them in storage. And now you have me wondering, like, when I pull those out of storage in 13 years, when I actually dwindle down my current inventory of pants and I go to put them on, they're going to be all dry rotted. I'm like, well, that was wasted money just sitting there, dry rotting in my storage totes.
If you vacuumed them, probably not, right?
No, I just, whatever they shipped them to me, and I just put them in storage totes.
Jeans don't have elastic, right? I mean, they're
no, but my socks do.
Oh, that might be you stockpile
and my
socks?
Boxers.
Why?
I stockpile socks, boxers, like anything that fits good. And like, I'm not talking like an excessive amount. I have like maybe one extra 6-pack of underwear, like 2 packs of these socks that I like. Nothing crazy. I'm not a hoarder yet, but
You're working on it.
I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it. Actually, I'm actively working to go with the opposite. Besides my little toys that I collect, I try to maintain sort of a minimalist lifestyle if possible, but it's hard because it's hard.
I mean, one of the things I told myself, if I ever become wealthy, one of the luxuries that I'm gonna indulge in is going to be
a bidet.
No, I already have. Well, I have a bidet toilet seat. You get like ass blasted with some like ice cold water, but that's all right. It'll wake you up. It's an eye opener. More ways than one, But socks, a new pair of socks every day. And my wife thinks I'm crazy.
100% agree with you.
She was like, you got to wash your socks, before you wear them. I'm like, who washes their socks before you wear them?
That's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
a serial killer.
It's comparable to losing your virginity every time you put those socks on and they're brand new.
Yep.
That's what it is for me.
Yep.
No, I have a friend. His name is John Pruitt, and I don't think every single day, like especially in the wintertime, he'll have different socks, but they never match. So I
like on the same day his socks won't match?
No, they won't match. So like he might have I
can't do that.
No, like he might have like a pickle eating a hot dog, and then on this one he might have like Rick and Morty. You know what I mean? Like so every day.
If they're like theme socks,
that's what I'm saying. So that must be awesome for doing laundry, because I do the laundry in the house, and I was like, that's a really cool way just to not care anymore. But like I can't send my kids to school because I live in a bougie neighborhood, so I'm pretty sure there's like, oh well, someone's fucking lazy. They don't want to match their kids' socks. So God forbid I do something like that.
Like, see, I couldn't do it because certain socks, like they might go halfway up the calf. They might have a certain tightness. They might fit the foot different. So I can't wear 2 different socks.
All theme socks, but they're just the same heights, just different theme on each leg.
Yeah, see that I could totally get behind that. Just releasing that sort of a little bit of stress that come from matching your socks all the time when you're doing laundry. Just like, fuck it, I'll just grab whatever. What was this, pickle eating a hot dog and Rick and Morty? Sounds like a Monday.
What do you guys do for your kids for presents? Like, do you guys have a rule, like how much you spend, what you do? My mom, God bless her soul, she used to do things that you need, things that you want, and things that you could read. And that was basically, if she covered those and the 3 gifts that you got, straight.
So would it be like 3 gifts then every year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
We were poor as shit. So like we didn't have a lot of money. So, just every year I would just get those 3. And it was something that I really wanted throughout the whole year. So like she might try to, fester up a little bit more money to get what I wanted. But then it was just 3 things. Right. And I think she had at that point, I think it was like a $200 limit or maybe smaller. You know what I mean? So that's what we do for our kids. Things they want, things they need, things they can need. Sorry, there was one more, and things you can wear. So
are you still limiting it to like just the three presents for each kid?
Yeah, 3. Well, I forgot about the wear, the some form of clothing. And like I said, it's usually, like I think we limit our house for each kid like $300, $300 or $400. So in that way, it doesn't get like out of control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you lose focus of what it's even about. It just becomes all about the gifts, and then your kids just become little monsters that are just spoiled. Which I think my kid's slowly developing into that because I struggle with this. Right now I have one of these like I don't know, what is it, like 27-gallon the black and yellow totes, and that's what I have, and like I have that full of presents right now. There's not a ton of them, but I'm currently like looking at my Amazon shopping list, and there's some other things that she wanted, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh, she would love this, she would love that, but also I know like my parents are going to get her a handful of things too, plus like this. And for me, it's always been like, I don't know why, but maybe it probably stems from something as a kid. But for me, it's all about the presents. Like when I was a kid, it was all about the presents. And I'm sort of passing it along to my kid, and I don't want that. I want it to be simple. I want it to be just a handful of gifts, like you're talking about, Brett. I think that's fantastic. If I can dwindle it down to like, hey, it's not just about the materialistic side of things. Like it's about being happy and being with your family, and grateful you have anything.
What do you do in your house, Adam? What's your rule?
Usually fight with my wife about how many presents we should get our kids. She's like, especially like this year, she's like, we're not getting anyone any presents. I'm like, you're not gonna not get your kids presents.
No presents.
Yeah,
that's.
She's like, it's stupid. She's like on that kick, you know what I mean?
Isn't she Jewish? I guess that would explain it, huh?
Well, I mean, unless like, there was one year where we didn't do shit for presents because we ended up, doing a family trip somewhere. I think we did a Disney trip or something.
But like, did the kids know like going into Christmas?
Well, I think what we did was we put the little, the Disney armbands within a present that they opened up. So they had stuff to open up, but you know what I mean? It was more themed to, hey, this is where you're going. You know what I mean? So like, I think we got them like 1 or 2, like a Disney shirt, and then a small Disney toy, and then the little thing that went around your wrist, to show that that's where they were going.
Yeah, that's still pretty cool.
So they still got stuff, and they didn't feel totally,
And I think I have this sort of exacerbated idea of what Christmas was like for me when I was a kid. Like when I think about it, I'm like, oh, I had all these presents. But when I really, really think about it, I'm like, I couldn't have had all those presents. My parents didn't make a lot, for half my childhood. My mom was a single mom trying to support us kids. So I know I didn't have that much. But for whatever reason, I just have these memories of like, I just, running downstairs and it's just this mountain of presents. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be so amazing. And I mean, my mom always did great. She always got us, like I had a Nintendo and my Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joes and like all the cool stuff. But I don't think it was as extravagant as I think about it, or I thought it was.
No, we can't do no presents. I think my kids would revolt.
No, yeah. I always end up splurging, So,
oh, really?
But we kind of, I don't know. Like I'm starting to have anxiety with all the junk we have around. Like I just want to throw everything out in our entire house, donate everything, whatever, get rid of everything.
How old are your kids?
15, 14, and 9. So
yeah, it seems like they don't have, like, unfortunately, like my kids are about the same age, right? Gonna be 16. Jesus, gonna be 16, 12 and 6, and like 6-year-old appreciates stuff for about 4 hours, and the other 2, like, unless
Mhm.
it's something they're gonna continually use, they might appreciate it for about a half an hour, and then it's just sitting somewhere. So, and that's the other thing too, because otherwise they'll just keep acquiring things.
So
George
Yeah.
Carlin used to say, "Your house is just a place to keep your stuff while you go out and get more stuff."
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like every couple of months, I'll get this like I don't know, this bug up my ass, and I will go downstairs and I'll empty out all my kids' toy boxes, which she's got 2 big toy boxes. I'll empty them out in the middle of the floor. I'm like, we're
Uh-huh.
gonna go through this. Anything you don't use or play with, we're gonna just donate it. And I find sandwiches in there. I find old cups that we've been missing for 10 years, and then we find a
Spoons.
mountain of toys.
Spoons. There's probably spoons. in there.
Spoons, yeah, spoons, forks. It makes my skin crawl. Like even right now, I want to go do it because her basement toy play area is getting kind of out of hand. But you know, again, I want my daughter to be able to go down there and like just express herself. I want her to be able to play Barbies one day, or play Twister, or you know, set up a little art center and draw. Or sometimes she plays school and pretends she's a teacher. Like I want her to be able to do all these things, but at the same time, I don't want her to have all these useless toys. Like you don't need it. When I was a kid, I had one little tiny toys. Like that's it. That's it. That's all you need. Maybe some Hot Wheels.
I don't know. It seems like the 2 older ones are always on their phone or tablet, and then the 6-year-old is right now. He's being a transient. Like if it wasn't so early right now, you'd hear the door slam like 20 times because he'd go out, scope out the whole neighborhood just to see who's out playing until he
Mhm.
finds someone or knocks on the door and see if it's okay, and then he'll come back in. And so all day long for the past 3 or 4 days they've been on, or no shit, they've been on vacation since Monday. He's just been rolling around in everyone's house.
Oh man, nothing makes me angrier than when I'm sitting at home in the afternoon, and like the little neighbor kid comes over to see if my daughter wants to play, and like I hear that doorbell ding. I'm like,
Why?
I don't know, because they come in the house and then they run through the house, then they go upstairs and they run upstairs, and they're disrupting my
kids.
day. I know, I know, I completely like. I try to rationalize this myself in my own mind. I'm like, just relax, Bill. Like they're having fun as kids. You know, they're making memories. This is shaping their life right now. And so I try not to be a giant dick about it, but I'm like, fucking kids again. Like, why can't my daughter just be a hermit and not ever make friends? Yeah, I know that's wrong.
No, I don't know. He just does whatever. He's like, I'd rather have him play than be inside, because then he's actually having some sort of, I was talking about this with somebody where like years ago where, we would just disappear. At least I'd disappear right first thing in the morning. And then when the street lights came on, my ass better have been in the house, no matter like where I was. I just needed to make sure, okay, it's going to take me a half an hour to get home. I got to get home. Now you do that shit with your kids, and if your kid's out left alone, CPS is showing up to your house the next day.
Yeah, I'll call the police. And that's another thing, like kind of along the same lines. My daughter wants to have a sleepover with one of the neighbor kids, and I'm like, I mean, that's a completely different concept nowadays. And like when I was a kid, it was like, yeah, whatever. I'd go have sleepovers all the time, hang out with my buddies. And nowadays, I'm like, shit, I gotta vet the parents. I gotta do background checks. What community are they in? Where are they at? Who else is going to be in the household? Because it's a different time.
It's funny. My middle son, he is actually in Wisconsin right now with one of our neighbors, and my daughter has a sleepover right now. There's another little girl in our living room as we speak, so we have multiple sleepovers happening at the time.
How long has your daughter known that other kid?
Couple of years.
Have you met their parents and stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've talked to her mom a couple times. I met her dad once at the daddy-daughter dance, but like my wife will stand here and talk to her mom for like, I don't know, an hour and a half at a time whenever they're around each other. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it takes. I think at least one of the parents, they have to be tight with one of the other parents to kind of get a real feel of like, hey, are you a child molester? Are you a serial killer? Like, what's your gig, man?
Are you on the registry?
Yeah, exactly. And that's like one of the things I think about when I'm like, yeah, even when she goes over there to play for the afternoon, I'm like, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I try not to live with that sort of stress, but it's It's the reality that we live in.
Yeah, I wonder, like, now in the current day, is there more bad crap happening, or like, are we actually becoming like a more calm society that is more, whatever, does less shitty things? Um, or did like worse crap? This is more bad crap happening now or before? You know what I mean? Are we just learning about it now because of the news and the internet and all that?
Mm, that's a good question.
I think it's B. I think we're just learning about it a lot more. I mean, there's a bunch of horrible shit that's always happened to, on the news and in family and whatever. But I think more people, it's out there, easily recorded and publicized now than what it ever had been. Right? Like anywhere you go, think about it. Right? Before, if you wanted a camera, you were either you had a big old camera, or you had one of the disposables to kind of take pictures everywhere. Right? Now you have a camera right in your pocket constantly, so you're able to catch everything that goes on in your life. You could basically turn that thing on and record and see what went on throughout the day. And
imagine trying to like spy on people in dressing rooms with one of those big shoulder mounted camcorders, like holding it up over the top there, and couldn't do it.
I mean, I think the world is becoming a little bit of a better place overall. I mean, obviously there's still shitty people and there probably always will be, but like, there was some crazy racism that was going on like everywhere. Back in the 50s, it was like you weren't a man unless you beat your wife. It was like they had TV shows about it, like to the moon, Alice, to the moon. And that was like a normal thing. And
domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Oh, such fond memories.
It was laughed at. It was smiled upon,
Yeah.
So we're not really doing much of that anymore. I mean, most of us, I would say, at least, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know anybody that like actively beats their wife anymore.
Or at least brags about it.
Yeah. I mean, I often joke with my wife about it. Like, I'm gonna just punch you, you don't shut up. And I tell her stuff like that all the time. Like, I probably won't, but you never know. Like, I want her to know, like, hey, you never know. Like, I might be joking, but I might not be joking. It's like, you better make me a sandwich.
That's absolutely horrible.
That sort of stuff. That's why I talk to my wife. But it's okay, because she kind of speaks broken English, so maybe she doesn't really fully understand me. She doesn't fully grasp my humor. It's often wasted on her.
She just kind of like
gets
like
mad.
not like kind of frowns at you a little bit, scowls at you slightly when you make your jokes.
Yeah, she's like, whatever, Russell.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell because if someone has RBF really bad, you really can't tell if they're upset or if that's just the way they're looking at you. Or unless I just get looked with a look of disdain all the time. I'm not really sure. I haven't pinpointed that one out.
I've been telling my wife that for the last week or so now. I've been using the thing that we heard as kids all the time, like keep scowling like that. Keep making that look with your face, and your face is gonna stay that way. I like say that in front of our daughter, and then my daughter will laugh at her.
See, I don't know. I don't really have like resting bitch face, but I have like maybe like resting angry face, sort of. Because I constantly get asked, like, why are you mad? Like, my wife is always asking me, like, why are you mad? Why are you mad? I'm like, I'm not mad. I don't know where this is coming from. Like, yeah, I'm not smiling, but I don't ever smile. And I sound the same all the time. So I don't know why I'm mad, but it's so frustrating to hear that all the time, constantly.
Well, that's why I always try to be funny with my kids constantly. And then that way, if I'm not, then obviously there's something wrong. Then I'm pissed off about something. But my son's taking it to the extreme. Like he avidly just tries to be funny all the time. Example, he filled up a cup of water, and a lot of times, hey, drink my imaginary fruit punch, and like you go to like just make pretend you're even remotely paying attention, and then he got angry with my wife. It was like, you didn't even look at it. So she went like this and went like that a little bit. And then it's like, she set it back down and he got mad again. It's like, you didn't even look at it that time. So she went like this and went like this full up. Little motherfucker put water in it. So it was the funniest thing in the world.
Oh, so there's like actual water in there and she didn't expect there to be. Oh, see, she should have looked at it. You know, like my daughter will interject when my wife is like, "Why are you mad? Why are you mad? Why are you mad today?" And I'm like, "I'm not mad." And then my daughter will snap in there and she's like, "He's not mad, Mom. He's not mad."
I think
It's
part of
funny.
your problem is the fact that you do have resting dick face, but then on top of that, you can never tell how you are because of you being so monotone, right?
Yeah.
So like therein lies confusion. If you have resting dick face and you sound monotone, there's no judge of like where you're at as far as mentally.
See,
Like,
that's why I need like an excitement pin and then like
I'm
maybe
I'm looking.
something
I'm looking for something for you.
something called like an emotionometer where it's like slide and slide with like happy face and mean face or something.
Hmm.
I need 2 of those. Like, here's my energy level. I'm excited. And also, not only am I excited, I'm also mediumly happy.
See, I'm in the same boat where I'm always joking around with my kids because I want them to like, not endure the stress of my life and whatever else, and I don't want to take things out on them. But like I feel like I probably do it a little bit too much joking around with him. Like my one son, like he's I think he has a difficult time ever being serious now because I joke around with him so much.
Mm.
Um,
Sounds
so
familiar.
there's that, you know. Uh,
Like,
and then it's a hard time changing the conversation too, and like, hey, we need to have a serious talk. It's like, well, when did you start becoming serious? You know?
Yeah,
well,
see, I'm serious with my kid all the time, and I've often told her ever since she was a baby, I always talked to her like an adult.
mhm.
I never did the baby talk. I've always just talked to her like an adult, and I told her like that's because I want you to, I don't know, like develop faster, or not, maybe not develop faster, but I feel like it's going to speed up your ability to understand these simple conversations. You know, if I talk to you like a baby all the time, or if like, like Adam, if I joked around with my kid all the time, it might be hard to like, hey, this is a serious thing we need to talk about in life. You're like, oh, it's just dad joking again. I'm like, no, you can't set cats on fire or put cats in the microwave. Like, this is a serious thing. Like, we need to talk about this. I'm like, oh, he's just joking again. It's okay. It's okay, guys.
But
But
just so everyone knows, Bill did put a cat in the microwave. So
I did. We actually, that's funny. We talked about that at my mom's house over Thanksgiving, because a lot of this stuff that we talk about on the overtime show, um, she didn't know about until we talked about it on the overtime show. And like, so she's finding out all this stuff, and she's like telling me like, I never knew that. And I'm like, of course you didn't, Mom. I didn't tell you this stuff. Like, why would I tell you that? The cat was outside. I don't know how it got locked out, but it's cold. So I put it in the microwave for 13 seconds. That's it. 13 seconds. And I warmed it up. And after that, I swear on my life, that cat was smarter. It had the ability to stand up on its hind legs after that. And it just seemed smarter. So I don't know if maybe I accidentally stumbled upon a way to make cats smart is by microwaving them. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. You guys be the judge.
and your mom remembers that cat. Not that she wouldn't, but
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She remembers that cat. His name was Angus. Named after the guitarist for AC/DC.
that's what I was just gonna say.
But then like all my drunk stories that we tell over time, she's like, never do any of that. Like this one time I came home, and I came home drunk in like high school again, and I sat down in the recliner, and the recliner flipped over backwards, and I just passed right out. And my dad came downstairs and found me just passed out, feet straight up in the air, and just passed out backwards, upside down in the chair. And he called mom down, and they laughed at me for a while. But I was like, yeah, it's because I came home hammered in high school, Mom. Like, I mean, you think I just like fell over? I was just exhausted from doing homework or something? Like, no. I was hammered and probably on drugs too. I don't remember.
So who are you guys doing anything for? Well, no, because both of you don't drink. So I mean, what do you guys do anything for New Year's?
Have a hot cup of tea. That's
You don't
about
go
it.
out. You don't go out anywhere.
I don't do nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think every once in a while, my wife will have like one of her sisters or something over, and they'll make this traditional like Mexican dessert, and like that's the extent of our excitement. And then I'm sitting there with my hot cup of tea. I'm like, man, still thinking about the days when I would just be hammered drunk by then. But no, nothing crazy. Maybe I'll slap a gummy on this year.
Adam?
No, we haven't done anything in years and years and years. So, but I have to say, confessions. Now that you're talking about being hammered drunk and that, I was watching a show or a movie or something, and the guy was like talking about like, man, I love myself a good scotch, and he was like pouring himself. I don't remember what scotch he was pouring. I'm like, yeah, that was like one of the first times I missed it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I
Mhm.
can taste it right now. You know?
It hits just right. Oh man, scotch. I love scotch. And I used to buy the cheapest garbage scotch. It tasted like burning dirt, but for whatever reason, I loved it. It was $13 for a half gallon of this Lauder's scotch from the local liquor store.
Half gallon.
Yeah, half gallon, like less than $15, dude. That's high quality stuff.
I have the same bottle, the regular. I don't know how big ounces that is. Just a regular standard. I don't know. Looks like a quart. I don't know. I've
No.
had a lot of them for like 3 years, 5 years.
It wouldn't last a week at my house because I drank it because that's how I dealt with life. Whenever I had stresses, that's how I dealt with it. Whenever I was in this point where, and I sort of learned this about myself, is that I have to have these things in my life to reward myself for basically getting through life. And the stupid thing about that is, if you think about this, like you have to reward yourself because you get to do these things in life. Like in I don't know if I'm going to explain this properly, but like I look at it like this way. Like, so I come home from a hard day's work. I'm like, God damn, I'm just beat. I'm tired. I worked so hard today. And then I just get hammered drunk at the end of the day because I feel like that's my reward for working so hard. And when I was a drunk, that's what I looked forward to. Like I would bust my ass at work. I'm like, it's okay. I feel like crap, but I'm going to go home and drink. And like now I look at it as like, I have a good job. I can provide for my family. Why do I need to be rewarded on top of that? Like my reward is different now because my perspective has changed. So my reward is knowing that my family is provided for, knowing that like, hey, I like my job. I'm in a good place in my life. I get to do this. I get to do what I like to do. That's my reward. No longer is it like I don't need this outside thing, this booze or drugs or whatever it used to be.
Yep. You're probably the same as me. I remember when I was drinking, I would like towards the end of the day, I'm like, man, I can't wait to get home and pour that was like the first thing I would do when I would get home.
Mhm.
Like crack a beer, pour scotch, something else, whatever. It was like just looking at the clock on the way home. Oh, I'll be home in a half hour, whatever. Or I remember times where I would tell my
Plan
wife,
your route home so you can stop at the liquor store.
yeah, I was like a far way home, and then I'd realize, oh man, it's hot outside. I really could not go for a cold beer. I'd call my wife, like, put the beer in the refrigerator. I need it cold by the time I get home.
Man, yeah. Like I would often skip lunch or dinner just so I could make sure when I got home, like I was empty. I had no food in my gut because as soon as I got home, I dump. I had my big plastic cup, half full of scotch, and then I fill the other half up with Diet Pop, and like that was my pre-dinner. Then I'd have another one, watch some TV, and usually I'd get just about 3/4 of a fifth down. And then about 9-10 o'clock at night when I was good and drunk, that's when I would just eat a giant pile of food, greasy fries, just garbage food, right? And then I would go to bed. I'd wake up and do it all over again. And somehow I got up to be like 320 pounds. I don't know what happened.
Damn.
Yeah, I was fat and unhealthy, and I probably had blood pressure comparable to Brett's. I wasn't in a good place.
Yeah, I just need to get motivated. That's my biggest problem. Like I'm always asking someone, I'm like, hey, do you want to go to the gym early in the morning? But I have no friends. I have no real friends.
It's all about perspective sometimes.
I'm like, I've fallen off I was just going on really long. Like I got to the point where I was going on really long walks. This past summer, spring and summer or whatever. I did a freaking and honestly, the only reason why I was doing it is because Chris Hughes from HVAC Grapevine and the Energy Conservatory, he was pushing himself or whatever. The only difference was he was actually running and jogging. I wasn't. I'm like, yeah, I'm not running. I'm a freaking
Yeah,
old.
no, I can't run.
I'm not running,
Hurts.
But I walked, which this is probably not impressive to some people, but it was impressive to me. The farthest I've walked this past year was I did a half marathon walking, and it was rough.
Which is how many miles?
It was, what is it? Well, it was actually a little bit over a half marathon. I did 13 miles, I believe my longest distance was. So,
What'd you start off with?
walking.
No, like as far as length, like was it like 1 mile one day, one like for 2 weeks, and then you gently eased it up, or like what's up?
It would be like, I don't know, I would just walk around the block, which we have a decently big block. But yeah, it'd probably start off with 1 mile. And then like very quickly early on, I jumped up to like 5 miles. And I remember in the very beginning, I get to like the third and fourth mile and I felt like death. Like my feet hurt, my freaking back hurt. It was bad, But then
Mhm.
like after doing it for a while, like 5 miles was easy. It was like more so annoying that I was spending all that time walking, and I felt like I was wasting time when I could be doing something else. You know what I mean?
Well, and then you started doing the Audible books, I think, right?
Yep.
Which creates not only a distraction, but it also feels like you're not wasting your time. You throw on a good fucking personal growth book or even a, I don't know, entertaining book, I guess, or something.
Yep. Yep. That's one thing I do miss about walking is the Audible books, the personal growth,
Yeah, because you get
Very,
all that
very
time to just listen
inspirational.
to stuff.
Yeah. But like everything, I feel like in the wintertime, everything starts getting cold too. It's like it's dark outside, it's freaking cold. Like, you go out for a morning walk in the summer, the sun's shining, there's birds around you, everything looks nice, there's fresh green grass. Now it's just like, trees, dead bushes, leaves. It's
Everything's
cold.
like
Yeah,
kind of muddy.
muddy and dirty, and you're just like, eh.
See, I got a treadmill in my basement because where I live, I have to drive somewhere to like walk down a walking trail. I can't just like walk down my road because it's next to a busy highway. So I got a treadmill, which like that's been great. That's a game changer right there. I can just go down to my basement. I wish I had a TV mounted in front of it. That would make it even better. But I just throw on my phone, throw a podcast on, maybe watch some TikTok videos. Just I'll walk, a good solid half hour to an hour, and then do my body weight workout. It's great.
No, I just I don't know. I have no motivation to go do it, and the only time that I think that I wouldn't affect anything in my household would be to go like super early in the morning. Like I usually wake up at like 4:26 every morning. This one was an anomaly this morning, but like I'm usually up and I'll start scrolling on my phone,
Mm.
and then it just becomes a death scroll, and then I'm like, wow, I didn't do anything. That's
And
cool.
2 hours later, like, oh, I should probably get up and do something.
Yeah. And then you're pissed off at yourself for the fact that you didn't do anything for the past 2 hours.
Hmm. That's why I feel like, at least for me, I do Audible or podcasts usually, but I've sort of fallen down this hole of TikTok videos while I'm walking because they're super distracting. And I can watch TikTok videos, and next thing I know, it's been a half hour already. I'm like, oh wow, I've learned everything there is to learn about aliens and conspiracy theories, and now it's already been a half hour. Great. But I also didn't I didn't learn anything new. I didn't I didn't grow myself mentally or personally or anything. There was no good information from those TikTok videos. It was a waste. But
then I'll spend time on shit that needs no time spending on. Like the other day when Joe was being dumb and not answering any questions, I probably spent fucking 4 hours
trying to find him.
CSIing like where he lives.
Dude, he got close too. I don't know if you told Bill, but like he is finding the streets that Joe's driving down just by doing like Google Maps crap and driving down all.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was sharing him in the chat. Like I have within a 10 mile vicinity of where he lives, because you can see like whereabouts where he starts in the morning, and then I got it, like you can see all the places that he's visited, which is all in the same general location. So like I'm stupid close. I just need a little bit more information. I'll be able to find other things that I need in order to pinpoint where he's at. But unless that first video that shot that I sent you is where he lives, He's like, oh, I'm going to start my day. Well, okay, so who starts their day on a residential street, right? Balance of probability suggests that not. So I'm pretty sure I know where he lives. And I was
And then if
texting
you just
Joe.
like, look at the houses, and then do the Google Street View, I'm like, all right, I saw this house, I saw that house.
So the next thing I need to do is see what garage color it was from the inside out, and then I'll be able to pinpoint what house he's at, because I'm pretty sure I have it labeled to what street he's on.
Well, don't give up.
No, I'm not, because I'm not going to give out his address. Like, that's really fucked up. But what I will do is I have this thing planned where I'm just gonna send him a shit of like advanced refrigeration merch with a big handwritten like serial killer type note that says "Found you," and just
like,
send it
cut out letters from like magazines and like put it in there like that. That's what you got to do. Like, hi Joe, here's a lock of my hair, and also some advanced refrigeration podcast merch. That would be amazing.
Oh man, I like I said, I hyper focused on that for probably about a good 3 or 4 hours.
It's a good thing he doesn't watch this thing that we do, or he'd totally find out.
Oh no, I texted him. And he, every time I'd send him like something that I got closer, he's like, "Oh, that's a nice street. That's a nice house." I'm like, "Dude, I'm close. You're playing it off like I'm not even close. But I know I am."
We'll find him one day. We will find him. You know what he told me the other day? I was talking about we were talking about snow melt or something like that, and I said, one of the only reasons why I don't think I would pull my gas meter is because I need a new driveway, and like it would be kind of stupid for me not to put PEX in the driveway and do snow melt. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna do the driveway anyways, why wouldn't I do it? And he's like, "Well, why don't you just wait and I'll come down there and help you with it?" I'm like, "Shut up." You're not coming down. Who are you?
No, 100%. I've said it before. I'm the closest to Joe. Like, I'm maybe 2 hours away from Joe across the border of Canada. And he said he would. He said he'd meet me for lunch. I'm like, I'll come across the border. We'll have some Timmy's, and I'll meet you in person.
Mm-hmm.
He says he's down for it. I don't think he would actually do it, though. I feel like if I drove there, he would stand me up and not actually show up.
When you say Timmy's, are you talking about Tim Hortons?
Yeah, Tim Hortons. That's the only restaurant they have in Canada. Everywhere.
Well, that was the other thing I was doing. You could see every morning, like, he would have a coffee, and he only drinks coffee from Tim Hortons or McDonald's.
Ew.
That's the only two places he'll get coffee from.
So they got to be nearby.
But unfortunately, there's Tim Hortons all over the place.
Yeah, that's true. And McDonald's. Yeah, so that doesn't really help narrow down the search.
And he's never once in any video shown a license plate. Never.
I see. I wonder if he does that on purpose. I wonder if he's that.
I think
like
he is.
that, and that's like Jason Bourne level stuff. Like, like, I got to make sure when I'm filming this, like, being constantly aware of things in the background. Like, that's next level. Like, when I'm doing my videos, I try to do that. Like, logos. I don't really care about license plates, but yeah, that's next level stuff. It's like we're trying to find Jason Bourne, except it's his brother Joe Bourne.
Yeah, I'm close. Like I said, it's I'm damn close. It irritates me because I had my I had like addresses saved in my bar for my for the internet, and my computer reset because we lost our power. So all those addresses I had written down are all now gone. So it's going to take me a little bit to remember it. But I just got to go back in the pictures and figure out, what pictures that I shared with you two. But oh man, we got off tangent. I'm sorry.
Well, gentlemen, I think it was a good discussion. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
It's the way we roll. A little ADD.
Yeah, a little ADD. I think we should revisit this again a little bit closer to Christmas. See how we're holding up. See how everybody's doing mentally.
Yeah. No, I want to get into some other stuff that I've been dealing with at home, but we'll save that for next time.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's keep this thing going. I think it's a good thing.
I miss my therapy sessions. I think we need to make sure we keep rolling with this. Because I mean, this helps me recenter, to be honest with you. Because I mean, I share all my shit with you guys, but it feels good to get it off your chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think also it's important to share with anybody who's listening, because A lot of times people have issue with feeling vulnerable and putting themselves out there. And like, I don't care. Like, I'll talk about whatever issues I'm having. Like, I'll
So
get it out there.
that's one thing I was gonna ask, you know, like, not to keep this thing going, don't wanna beat a dead horse in that, but, like, all right, so is there, like, all right, I know we're for the most part, we're pretty, open and honest about things and
Mhm.
the struggles we're going through, but is there a layer of, like, "Hey, we don't cross this line, we shouldn't talk about this crap," like, you know what I mean? Like, individually, I'm not saying in general, because honestly and obviously, I don't care about what you guys talk about, but, like, personally, is there, like, a level of things that we can't talk about? Yeah.
I mean, I would say if there was something like for me personally, if there was something going on, I would say like behind the scenes, like, hey, let's not talk about this yet. But eventually, like it might just be something like I need to process further or something. But like I'll talk about just about anything. I don't care.
Yeah, well, just before when we have this next time, we'll just do a little bit of preamble and just be like, "Hey, this is kind of off key right now,"
Yeah.
or it really depends on where I share it. Right, right now,
Because some
it's
of the
you.
stuff we share can affect other people that may or may not listen,
Yeah,
you know? So, like, if anything, like, stuff's going on in my personal life, I can think of a couple things that, if I were to share them, might offend, people. Like, if it's offensive, I'll share it, but, I'll change the names or the parts of the story to make it, very confusing, you know?
no, I
Because
got
you know, if it's something I need to share, I also don't need to offend another person by sharing whatever it is that I'm going through. If there's another person tied into it, like I don't want to offend another person or
Like, in
uh,
your life in your immediate circle, right?
yeah, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I guess till next time. And I don't know. Maybe we'll figure out a schedule that works for everybody, so
Yeah.
we don't do it too much.
I think the schedule works for me. So we'll see how long it works. We'll see if Adam can get his mud butt water and get up on time next time.
All right, guys.
All right, see you.
See you. Bye.
Bye.